Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisel. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
All right, thank you for listening. We're back with another For Love and Play. I'm your host, Keenan Weaver, back with my favorite people, the Queen. What's going on, girl?
What is going on? Valentine's Day. Super excited.
Oh, yes, this is a special one. The recently promoted Baron.
Baron. Yes, I am your Lord and Savior, Louie B. I am here once again to pleasure your ear holes with my mellow accent.
Great. We're glad that you're able to do that to all the listeners. We have a very special episode. This is For Love and Play's first episode for Valentine's Day. So clap it up for you guys for making it this far. Thanks to all the listeners who's been with us from the start. We're very excited. This is like, for a relationship podcast, this is like the ultimate holiday. So we're going to have fun with this one. We actually have a special guest joining us from the Gary Hour, comedian Gary Levitt. How you doing?
I'm great, man. Doing good.
Yay.
I wouldn't call Valentine's Day the greatest day, but I live with it.
For a relationship podcast, there's nothing bigger, though. Can you?
Yeah, a lot of interest in dating.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. So there's nothing really, I mean, Christmas is kind of cool, but this is our Olympics. And for me,
this is the holiday. It's like
it only comes
it's like
around
dressing up on Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's like the X-rated holiday. Valentine's Day could be R-rated. Christmas is lame because it's kind of the G-rated holiday. You know?
Yeah.
It's the one that everyone celebrates, except for this girl
Except
over
for the
here.
Jews and the Muslims and the Hindus.
Yeah. And
I don't want to get into it because that's a whole off topic.
Yeah.
It's just
Love encompasses all religion, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just a better
That's
one.
why Valentine's Day is the best.
Exactly, because love is spread through anybody's creed, background, or experience or religion, right?
It really is the grandest holiday.
Amazing. So, Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into the actual specific Valentine's Day. You run a podcast. How long have you been on that podcast? You're also a comedian. So just a quick bio.
Yes, I'm a stand-up comedian based in here in New York, and my podcast, The Gary Hour, I think we're about 23 episodes in. It comes out every Tuesday, and we've had some great guests. We talk to anyone with a curious and introspective brain. We had Kevin Allison from The State and the Risk podcast on. We just talked to a psychiatrist. We have a lot of authors and psychologists and comedians and musicians and artists of all kinds. And we dive deep into the things that matters most to each of our guests.
All right, great. But before we dig deep into what matters most to you and us for this particular episode, Louie, tell the people how they can join in on the conversation.
This is what I need you people to do, and I keep asking you, and I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. You can follow us on Facebook at For Love and Play. That's For Love and Play. Or you could follow us on the Twitters at For Love and Play. That's the number 4 Love and AND Play, and you can hashtag us at For Love and Play. So that way we could get your questions and answers. Also, you can so that's Twitter, that's Facebook, or you could email us at forloveandplay@gmail.com. And take it away, Keenan.
All right. So as we said up top, the conversation today will just be an open conversation about Valentine's Day.
Yep.
What that means to you, what you may have done in the past, what you're going to be doing in the future, because this is that week. Yael, how is for you as the lady? I feel like Valentine's Day, just like every other thing, that involves love, it's mainly for you.
I mean, maybe not for me personally. I'm not a big. I don't know. I guess I don't make a big stink about Valentine's Day. I think, though, how people behave on Valentine's Day towards their significant other, the person they're banging on a regular basis, whatever it is, that is really important. Because the treatment of this day, it's like if you didn't get your mother a gift on Christmas, if you didn't call your mom for Rosh Hashanah, if you don't do something in acknowledgement, what men don't realize is there are very few women like me who don't give a shit. I don't care about a lot of this crap. I care about other things that are, I think, far more important. I am like the unicorn of Valentine's Day with a vagina. I'm not normal in that regard. So you're gonna have don't even bank on getting someone like me. It's that rare, you know. This is an important one.
All right. Well, as we've established that no one has a shot of finding a Yael, Gary.
Yes.
What do you think? Just your first thoughts on Valentine's Day and how you've approached it over the years.
Well, Valentine's Day, it's a lot of pressure. It's kind of like New Year's Eve in that sense. You feel this pressure from society to have this super romantic night of Valentine's Day. And with all that pressure and expectation, it so rarely delivers.
Right.
Dan Savage has this thing where he says that it's, rather than all the expectations, just have sex first before you go out and do dinner and all the romantic stuff. Have sex first so you feel good, you're satisfied. You take away all the expectations of going to dinner, doing whatever else after, then coming home and supposedly having explosive romantic sex. It's too much expectation, too much buildup, too much pressure.
Make love before you leave the house, right? Because you could be banging, sloppy, and drunk at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know what I mean? It's not romantic.
Yeah, and there's too much build-up. It won't ever...
Do you guys put stock into, like, the actual day? Because here's what I like to do. I'd rather celebrate, if I am celebrating with somebody, like the day before or after the side chick days, because it just doesn't have the crowds. It's just a madhouse outside on Valentine's Day. It's just ridiculous to even go through all of that.
I think it should be something, I don't know, I feel like it should be a romance. If this matters to you, in my humble opinion, I feel like it should be a romantic situation between the two people, not necessarily in the public eye. Like, right, maybe go out the day before or after and spend the night together with wine, whatever, and an exchange of gifts or poetry, whatever you like to do. If you're into S&M, maybe that's the night to shackle each other to the radiator. I'm just saying you should make it special, maybe privately.
I like that idea of going out after or before, just to be a little rebellious and a little conformist.
Exactly, which is exactly what I try to strive for. So that is... But you did it. You hit it right on the nose by comparing it to New Year's. Also, everything, the prices on that day are so jacked up. You can go to the same restaurant, the same spot the day before and save, or the day after and save, and it just makes no sense. I'd much rather just do something at home on the day of Valentine's Day, and if we do have to have some type of plan to go out, we do it beforehand. And I think many people are going to do it this year because it's on a Sunday.
Don't ever tell your partner that that's the reason you're not doing it on the day, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine if you're not as brash as Louie and I.
Well, okay.
If you want to deplete all the romance out of the night, then suggest going the day before or after to save a couple bucks. I
mean,
that would almost do it more for me.
My lady this year.
You got a lady?
We're actually not doing anything on that weekend, and we're going to Lake Tahoe the weekend following.
Yeah, you're giving Jews a bad name.
Oh.
Safe.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Louis, what's been your experience? We got to break that one up.
my experience with Valentine's Day.
Yeah, like how do you approach it?
Oh, it's a day for me to save money because obviously I never have a date on fucking Valentine's Day.
Never.
Like you.
Oh no.
No. I usually I'm single on the high holy dating holidays of the year.
The high holidays.
The high holidays. Yeah, I'm gonna go stag for Purim this year. So I'm gonna dress up as Woody from Toy Story, and I'm just gonna be by myself.
I mean, you can always go to a perm party with me. I'm gonna be David Bowie.
That means
that's another thing about Valentine's Day. It makes everyone that's single feel more lonely. It's like Christmas time when you don't have a family.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that actually break up with girls so that way they don't have to buy a gift or take them out, and then they get back with them after the holiday. They do the same thing for Christmas. I mean, I think it's a smart idea to do it. Like, why? Like, honestly, on Valentine's Day, imagine all these lonely chicks, at bars and stuff. A single guy could really rack up.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm going to do if I don't have a date. I'm going to go to any bar I can think of and just hope I drink enough to spread them to go home with them. It's like that's the plan.
Well, if you have the blessing of having low enough self-esteem, I mean, have at it. No one's judging you.
To talk about that pressure that it makes, especially for single people, I, like you, Louis, have rarely celebrated Valentine's Day with an actual significant other. Most of the time, it's probably my fault because I always just rather watch the All-Star game. I don't know why they did this, but basketball's All-Star weekend always falls on Valentine's Day weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's always been a conflict of interest since I've always loved the sport of basketball more than anybody I've been with at any time. Not even like for just Louis' crazy, which I want to explain. I want to explore more. So there really is a community of people that are breaking up just to avoid presents.
Yeah, I mean, like there's this and I know I spoke about this. There's this broadcaster. His name is Tom Lakis, and he gives the advice: you shouldn't have a girlfriend on Valentine's Day. You should like if you are, in fact, you shouldn't be dating anyone. You should just be out there, getting laid. But if you have a girlfriend, break up with her. Because you could, find some desperate chick on Valentine's Day, sitting at like a Bennigan's or a TGI.
Man, that's the last place you're going to find a woman you want to take home for the night. That's the last place. I would avoid those. I would not be fucking someone from the bar at Bennigan's. That is for goddamn sure.
Or either that or Chipotle. I mean, I'm going to go to Chipotle.
Man.
I'm going to Chipotle next week. And
now, Chipotle is one of the greatest pickup places to ever be brought on this earth. Yes. It is legit amazing. I'm not sure about exactly on Valentine's Day, but every other day, it is an amazing experience.
In fact, maybe if I want to save a little bit more money and I want to play Russian roulette, I'll go try to pick up a chick at Taco Bell. Think about it. It'll come to you. It'll come to you.
Again, we make sure that Louis is up to date on all of his shots, and
yeah.
He's not dangerous per se.
Hey, you trust me?
I would love to see what happens if Valentine's Day ever fell on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, that would never happen.
Shit.
No.
It's close
damn.
year.
No, that would be. Oh, I can't say that joke. Never mind.
Inside the danger zone.
It would
be a lot of unhappy ladies.
That would be the night to go to Bennigan's.
God made it so that would never ever happen. There's a viral video going on right now that kind of shows exactly this. It's a girlfriend yelling at her boyfriend because apparently he spent his life savings to go to the Super Bowl.
Haha.
Word.
It's hilarious. And she's just like cursing him out, saying that Peyton Manning doesn't care about you. He's never gonna fuck you, and you go all the way over there to look at Peyton Manning's asshole.
I mean, But in all fairness, I mean, you don't want to fuck Peyton Manning. You don't pay to see Peyton Manning fuck. You pay to see him leave with a ring. Let's do this.
I mean, that's the whole point about like women in sports is most guys don't really harp on whatever your interests are. Like, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying we tend to leave you alone if you have interests that we're not interested in. But there seems to be a growing community of women that wants to like belittle and think that because you're in the sports, it's somehow taking away from the attention or whatever it is. And that's just what she showed.
Keenan,
Yeah.
before we play the clip, I have a brief story that will bring your whole heart and soul to tears. I went in the archives of The Crazy last night and pulled out a special one for Valentine's Day just for you.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
So, no, really quickly, years ago, I was dating one of the Ford children. And these are people, they own, I don't know, the football stadium. I don't even know what that means. They own the car company. They own everything. They're that kind of money. Anyway, I was probably in the neighborhood of 18, 19. He was in the neighborhood of like 21, 22. It was the Stanley Cup. That is for hockey, right? That is hockey. Detroit was playing for the Stanley Cup, and he had box seats fully loaded, and he only had one extra pass with him. He offered it to me, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. This is one of those things. You need to take one of your boys to go with you. He dropped to his knees. He's like, you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my entire life. And he's like, and when that ticket is for Beyonce, your name is all over it. I was like, that's the way shit's supposed to be.
Oh, by the way... Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No, I'm saying I turned down a box something special ticket.
I think that shows exactly, that's a perfect example of why you called yourself a unicorn earlier in the podcast, and nobody vilified
No,
for
and you know what? He had an amazing time, and believe me, spoiled me for weeks.
That's what should happen. Like, if you're not interested in something, why go and suck the fun out of someone else who is? Like, that's just leave it alone. There should be things that people have in common that you guys do together.
Yes.
There should be something like an 80-20 rule where 80% of the things you guys would want and actually enjoy and do something together. And then there's 20% of the time where you guys have different interests and you enjoy those things, not together, but with other people that enjoy those similar interests.
Like,
It's simple.
it was awesome. It was awesome. I got mad love from the family and I won the network when in that one act of selflessness. I won the room.
Today in
won
the
forever.
2016 girlfriend draft, we accept
Only
Yale
woman who
Meisels.
will trump me is his wife. That's it.
Yeah, I have no idea how you lost the Ford family. And this is going to be something that we talk about on another topic. Because that doesn't even... outside of the whole Stanley Cup thing, I'm
"Are you
just
sure?"
very upset. I'm very upset that you... one of Americans' royalty. Like that's the heir of American royalty, and you lost...
Not once. Keenan didn't spread him once.
I don't. That doesn't make sense.
I'm telling you, it wasn't meant to be.
All right.
This whole meant to be. What does that even mean?
It's Disney fairy tale stuff. It's all we're brainwashed with all
Baby,
that.
you got to feel the fire. Listen, I knew this guy so well. Believe me, it should have been. He held out without sex for far too long. It wasn't there.
I feel like this whole, just like Gary said, this fairy tale, it would have worked. It would have worked. What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to find a flying carpet.
Oh, Lord.
Let's
call him.
Want
See
to
if
see
we
a
can
whole
get
new
him back.
world?
Well, you know what it is. We grew up with Disney, and they tell you you'll find love and you'll live happily ever after. But what they don't tell you is that it's going to take a lot of work to get there, like constantly, because you have to maintain your relationships, and the maintenance is work.
Well, it's even worse than that. They it's like, yeah, you could find love, but the only way, if you're a dude, the only way you could get the chick is if you're a rich prince.
Well, this rich prince didn't get the chick either.
Well, he got
another one.
He got another chick. Yeah, don't worry. He just went to 7-Eleven, went to the white girl section.
He definitely didn't go to 7-Eleven because he's a Ford Heir. But he definitely
did go to 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. Oh my God, you don't even know how cool boy was to me. Shit.
He didn't go to 7-Eleven. He went to the knockoff Cumberland.
Oh jeez.
He went to Cumberland. Anyways, I found the video of the chick going ape shit.
Oh, go for it.
Let's do it.
Right?
Yes, I did.
You're a dick.
Can you hear it?
What did I say?
You're a dick.
What did I say?
You're a dick.
Wait, tell me again what I said.
No, you're not gonna make fun of me.
No, because that's not true. What did you say?
I don't remember. He said, don't bother you during football with my feelings and shit and bother you and upset you. Please, not till after football. Not till after the Super Bowl.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said.
Ever.
That's what you said.
Oh,
Lord.
That's what you said.
Not if you could wait till after the game. I might have said that.
Yeah, something like that. Why do I have to fucking wait?
You don't have to wait.
Football's not a person.
Okay.
It's a thing. It doesn't give a fuck about you. I don't know why you fucking want to fuck it so bad. Because it don't sure if this fuck don't give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
You think Peyton Manning's out there fucking jacking off to you? Because he's not. He really don't give a fuck about you, Jerry Perry. He really don't. So I don't know why you want to fucking change your life and go fly out to California and spend your life savings to go fucking get a glimpse of Peyton Manning's asshole because he ain't fucking thinking about you. He's really not. He's really not. Oh, they need fans like me. No, they don't. They really don't.
Honestly, okay, let me stop this real quick. She's talking about, oh, you want to see Peyton Manning's asshole. Money bet she don't give up the asshole. Back to the...
They could do without you. Actually, you would harm.
Honestly, it's chicks like this that they don't give no anal and they don't get blowjobs.
That's why she's his girlfriend, not his wife. What?
Get her fucking kick the fuck out, going to jail. Yeah, I think they could do without all that. Actually, maybe if you stayed your ass home, they'd have a better chance. There you go.
And you could find her at the bottom of some lake somewhere.
I say this is a good example of why ladies should be more like Yael and very less like her.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the video of it was a compilation of chicks just busting up their dudes' Xboxes?
Yes, which pissed me off so much.
Fucking do it. I swear to God, the one time you didn't fuck me to play video games, that would be it.
Why? Where does that entitlement come from?
You could bring fucking crack cocaine in the house before you bring that shit in my house. I will not.
Where does that entitlement come from, yeah? Like, I don't understand how...
Expensive.
I think the point of that video was... The compilation was... they literally, like toddlers, was just destroying these the video games. Like,
this is what I prefer.
Rage-filled.
If you wanted that shit on the table, I need Chanel bags, active live-in childcare, and cocaine. That has to all be cool if I'm going to let you be a video game loser. No way.
Damn.
I will not.
You might need the cocaine if you don't get the daycare too, just to keep up with the kids.
Exactly.
I wanna go to your first statement though. Your first statement to the video was, if you choose the game over sex, I would destroy that. Why?
Will not.
Why?
Will not.
How come a guy can't turn down sex? Women do it all the time.
No, okay. Like, if we were supposed to, like, I'm saying, like, if you were gaming, I mean, I just think it's weird. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I'm
not even saying, like, specifically, if the reasons for a game, sure, whatever. What I'm saying is, why do women feel entitled so much that a man can't say no?
Because the games just keep going. These, like, a football game, that's eventually going to be over. There's an end time. This crap, it's like going on drug runs, like drug binges.
Actually,
People can stay up for 3 days playing this, like doing this garbage.
Why don't you just become more interesting than the game?
Yeah, we actually have.
What are you supposed to do at that point?
Hey, it's your fault that you're not more interested.
Damn.
Oh,
that's shots fired.
Listen, I am plenty interesting.
Well,
this has never been a problem for me. I'm saying I wouldn't tolerate it.
That's the whole point. Is there's plenty of guys out here that stop playing a game because they want to spend time with their girl. It's because those girls are actually entertaining, fun, and more interesting. If you're boring, like that's what happens is you turn the game off and then you want to watch reality shows and Kim Kardashians. Like
no, Property Brothers.
Oh Jesus, that show really. Anyways, we got audio of Yael flipping out on a guy that she was dating that chose to game.
Nothing.
So here, let me.
Exclusive.
Yeah, we were able to get the audio.
Hey, I tell you what I'm going to give you, snakes. I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10.
Oh, my God.
Keep the change, you filthy
animal.
That's exactly it. That's right. And if you don't have any money, that's it. Fucking hell.
Gary, I probably should have asked this to you up top.
Okay.
Single, dating, what's your status right now?
Single, dating, yes.
Okay, I nailed it right on. Okay, so with that, what type of person are you looking for?
I like how you said person. You're careful now.
I am. I've done it times.
I like female people.
Great. They're cool sometimes.
Yeah.
Busting up PlayStations.
Yeah, that's a little.
Busted of a PlayStation.
I did have an ex destroy a mandolin that a friend had built me.
Shit.
Yeah. I think that stuff is really kind of fun. Like a really feisty, crazy woman is really fun when you're in your early 20s.
Right.
Once you get out of your 20s, you realize, all right, that Sid and Nancy shit wears off.
No, actually, I was I saw a couple that the dude was in his late 30s, right? Maybe early 40s. This was like a mentor of mine when I was kind of like in college, and we would play Madden all the time, and I literally witnessed his now wife, I think it was possibly girlfriend at the time, rip the PS2 out of the wall while we were playing. It out of the wall, and I was just in shock. I was like, "Oh my god, that."
Well, it's similar to the phone. I mean, I dated this girl for a short time, and she had one of the best lines. She was a little boring. I started to get bored in the relationship, but we were out at a bar, and I just started looking at my phone, and she turns to me and she goes, "Oh, is there someone else you'd rather be talking to now?"
Oh man,
Burn
is a good line. Best thing I got from the relationship.
Yeah.
And just ladies and gentlemen, you should not be leaving relationships with burns of any kind. That's
shitty.
That's not what we want to get out of these.
But when she asked me that, I know it was kind of a rhetorical question, but I answered it in my head, and I thought, actually, yes, there is other people I would like to be talking to, because she wasn't all that mentally stimulating.
Ooh.
See? The interesting thing. This is what I'm saying. But that's why anytime I already hear a hint of sarcasm and retort, I always go with the most assholeless answer that you could possibly provide so that they don't have the chance to do the quote-unquote burn. They're left to deal with that whole, oh yeah, I opened this can of worms.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
well,
I think that's just
the phone is similar to the Xbox now. I mean, it's very easy to distract yourself from the people around you.
Well, I mean, as someone when I was on a date, well, twice this has happened to me. Like, I was on a date and the chick was on her phone, and in fact, one of them, she was arguing with not one but two of her ex-boyfriends while, you know, we were at I took her to a nice place, Brazilian, Dallas BBQ.
Bennigan's?
Yes, I took her to Bennigan's. I was like, I ordered the blooming onion, and she was too busy. She was too busy on her freaking phone. So instead of me well, at first I tried to take the phone out of her hand, which you never do.
Yeah, that was wrong.
Yeah, that was wrong. And she's like, you never take a phone out of a woman's hand. And then I was like, well, okay. So I said, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And I just walked out and left that dummy with the check.
But see, that's so passive-aggressive. He
went from aggressive to just straight-up passive-aggressive.
Yeah, like, how does... that was a big switch. Like, I condone the leaving. Don't get me wrong. I condone the leaving. I condone the consequence. What I'm saying is you should have said, I'm leaving because of.
No, because then she'll leave with me, and I wanted her to pay.
There's part of me that loves that you did that, and then the other part of me is like, that's not right.
Well, you know what? You know, it's not right that, the dummy wanted to fight with her supposed ex-boyfriends while she was on a date with me. I'm like, No,
that's classless and fuck her. I think you did the right thing.
Like, what am I?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, what am I? Some sort of do-do-do? Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, if you're not feeling a date, you can tell someone straight out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, fighting with an ex on a date, that's irreprehensible. I would have gotten up and left without word.
I mean, I can't even tell stories because I've gotten up from dates with way less.
Far less. Far less.
What she just did. I don't even know what that... I have no idea what my reaction to that would be because I've never let anything get that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just having your phone out during a date is not good.
Really?
You put the phones away.
Phones go away.
Especially on a first date.
Okay, whoa. I don't mean to be a dude about this, but, some of us have a job. Some of us have jobs that are not, they don't end at 5 o'clock. I'm saying if someone's texting you, for example, it's like if I have a big case that I'm working on, I would have to, I'm saying for me to not answer a text message work-related on a date could cost myself thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Then don't go.
I guess you'd have to explain that to your date first.
It's not even about an explaining. I've had consulting jobs where your phone is literally tethered to you, but there comes a point where you have to separate your personal from business and give the person in front of you an attention that they deserve. And to have your phone out is disrespectful, whether it's for work or what other reason.
Well, there was this thing, I think Psychology Today did it. It was a test where they took a series of couples, put them in a room together for 15 or 20 minutes, and they put 20, they kept doing it, and then they had them each bring their phone into the room, place it in front of them, and then just have a conversation. And then when they came out of the room, they asked them their intimacy level they felt with each other. Then they did it again with 20 other couples and made them leave their phones outside of the room. And every single time, the couple that didn't have the phone in the room with them felt a deeper connection to each other.
Yes. I mean,
I'm not saying bring it to bed. I'm saying it can't be relationships remove me from legitimate responsibility. That's where a lot of people get lost. I don't know.
Maybe you're a special case, but the phone is a portal to the outside world because there's thousands of people you could talk to on the phone or whatever. It's just this portal away from the person you're with. So that's really what it kind of represents.
It creates a disconnect, but it's still not even a special case Because, again, prioritize your time. If you've got to be a person who's so important, you did that because you've learned to prioritize. There's nobody at the top that doesn't understand priority. And there are certain times where work should not be the priority. And if you can put your phone away for the 2 minutes while you're in the bed and your guy's not...
But y'all can do that. Y'all can do that as long as she knows that comes with the package. That's part of the package, you know? If you want to date a celebrity, you know it comes with the package that you're going to be stopped in public and they're going to ignore you and talk to your celebrity partner.
Yeah.
If Yael wants to be a rock star with her constantly on the phone, then that comes with the package.
I'm not a rock. Okay.
And that's a package that most people don't play with for long because of a lack of respect.
I've dated some dudes that are properly that are properly famous. It's you accept that every girl in the room wants to fuck your boyfriend, and I'm saying seriously, it's something
that's not in
to
their
follow.
that's in their control. Your phone use is completely 100% in your control.
You can't get mad about it though, ever.
But that's 100% can, because that is something that you can control. You choose to not be on the phone.
But doing my job is something I have to do, and you know what I'm not bringing the phone to bed. I'm saying that there should be a cutoff time that you can't do business after this and this time unless it's a special situation. Like there should be boundaries, but I'm saying I would never how many dates were you on with this girl that asked you if you would rather be talking to somebody else? What number date was that?
That was probably about 4 or 5 months into it.
I mean, were there that's a long time. I would never say anything unless there was I would never say something like that unless there was other conflicts surrounding it. Like if we were arguing about something, is there someone more than it? But it wouldn't be that incident. I don't know. I'm saying that would not be an incident that it wouldn't bother me, probably.
It wouldn't bother you if you were out and your date just started looking on his phone?
What if he had to? What if it's his job? What if someone's confirming plans for a later date?
Right. You seem to, you seem to hold a one excuse. And Yael's one excuse is getting money. So if the boyfriend is a pro gamer and brings in $100,000 on the PlayStation, then it's cool.
On the PlayStation, well,
if the phone isn't bringing in money, she would have a problem with the phone. Because
if you were a hitter, I'd be pissed. But if you were responding to an email from your boss or from a client or your mother, that's part of accepting. You're a person. Why not get mad about something serious?
You gotta budget your time. You know, you should be responding to that on your time. Now is our time. And when I'm out on a date, I want their attention.
The point is the priority. And I'm letting you know that this is something that I specifically had to struggle with because of before I got into comedy. That's the life I lived. It was my clients were worldwide. So specifically, I would have. I think I told this story on the podcast. There was one time it was a Sunday night. My client was in Australia, so that's their Monday morning already. So the client is at work. I am technically not at work, and I was with my girlfriend, and they called, and I had to get up and call. And that's just an example of what life was like with me in a relationship. And because I was young and in that job, I did everything that the job wanted me to do whenever and completely disregarded her at all times. The job was always the priority. When there are instances that are emergencies, and this is the point. There are instances that are emergencies, like you're saying, which is fine. And most people would be understanding of that if you learn the difference between all the time and emergencies. But if you don't learn the difference, then any time, even if it's emergency or not, then becomes an annoyance because it's building and building and building.
And that's a common thing. That's a common thing in relationships if one person works too much. You know?
Right.
But there's
You
also
have to
people that are
learn.
just addicted to their phone.
Exactly.
You know, I've got this friend, she can't seem to hold a guy ever, and she's such a phone addict. And then she was dating this guy for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks, and she brought him into the circle of friends. So he comes in, and he doesn't know anybody. He only knows her. And then we're all hanging out. We're outside and sitting on blankets. It was the summer. And she's on her phone looking at Instagram, just scrolling through Instagram, and he's just like sitting next to her like la-di-da-di-da, you know, and I kind of look at her like, get off your phone and be with your boyfriend and kind of incorporate him into the group here. I think it's just the phone provides an exit from dealing with life and what's in front of you.
It's a grave disconnect, and I hate the whole tech. I really think we're like over connected, and examples like that show how we are losing the connection with people, the intimate connection that we used to have, because we're not really spending that much time together. We're always on the phone, and if you're a person who doesn't subscribe to that, people think that you're weird. Like, I'm horrible with my phone because I hate it. I hate the level of connection. And if I don't respond to a female's text in a certain amount of time, they literally start thinking the worst of whatever situation could possibly be, when it's just my phone was out of reach at the time. Like, and it's my length of my arm is out of reach. Like that.
Well, I mean, it's so funny when you start to get to know someone, like if you're dating someone, and then maybe at first they take a day to respond. But then when you're with them, you see what a phone addict they are. They always have their phone in their hands, so you realize, wait, you get my text almost right away all the time. You know? Yeah.
Now that is ironic that's happening too. But I remember one girl who used to complain, and she my habit is when I get home, I literally walk through my front door. My like bedroom is kind of like to the left, and I throw my phone on the bed to the left, and then my living room and couch and TV and everything is off to the right. So I walk
your Xbox.
Exactly. I walk in and I throw the phone away and go like so. I never get my phone messages until I go back into my bedroom.
I started doing that recently.
Consistent.
Well, and then whoever you're dating will know your phone habits
when they get that far to even be allowed in the apartment.
Exactly. I mean, there's just we're really talking about dating etiquette here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think there's all this technology stuff is still fairly new, and maybe the younger generation coming up with it have different etiquette. But I thought that Psychology Today test was kind of interesting because the phone really does deplete the intimacy in the room when they're out.
It does, yeah.
It's just be present. It's the same thing like we're all comedians. So it's the same thing like when someone pulls the phone out in the show, it's the same exact feeling that someone would get on a date.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do when you're on stage and someone's in front of you on their phone?
You immediately are annoyed at that.
Exactly.
It's like instantaneous. It's almost it's so I don't even know how to describe that feeling. It's just like oh, you paid to come see me, and then I'm not even important for you to look up.
Mm-hmm. You could use my ex's line. You just go up to him and say, "Hey, is there someone else you'd rather be listening to now?" They're watching Louis C.K. on their phone.
Yeah, right.
How dare them?
And most times, always
Don't you
address
bring
that.
that in my show.
They always address that.
That's so funny. That's true.
And that would be I would be really insulted if they were watching another stand-up comic on their phone while I'm on stage.
They just pull up a YouTube video. That would be great.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm playing Candy Crush.
No,
See, it just took me right out.
No, with some people, there's some people though that are that like one of my biggest problems is like I love to work. I actually like my job. I enjoy it, I really do. I love it. I've noticed when I like somebody, that time is thoughtlessly made. I'm saying it comes. It just, like, something inside my behavior towards that individual shifts and they become important.
Right.
I'm saying, like, I won't take calls because, like, there's something about them, like, I want
Exactly.
to...
That's what I said. That's
know what I mean?
exactly what I was saying about being more interesting. That's exactly what I was saying. You automatically make the switch because of the other thing is more interesting. But when the person isn't, then you are more inclined to do the other stuff that you'd rather do. That was the same.
Right.
That was the same point I was trying to make with the PlayStation.
Well, this dating etiquette thing, I feel like when I do Tinder dates, you know, the first time I have a Tinder date, I don't even consider it a date. I consider it a meeting. But I'm finding that most women expect me to pay. Right. And I never know the etiquette for this because to me it's not a date. It's a meeting to decide if we want to go on a date.
So where do you? That's my thing. So where are you going? Are you going to meetings or are you going to dates? So what I'm asking is how do you approach like the?
I'm pretty uncreative. I just say you want to meet for a drink. But as far as feminism has come, and as far as equality has come, they still want the man to pay.
I mean, but that's because they're always gonna pick and choose. They cherry. I'm done. You get what I'm saying?
Yep, that's gonna make the gag reel.
Well, I think Yael would probably be best to give her perspective, being that she's the woman here.
Is she?
Why is that? Is it a primal thing, or is it just not wanting to pay thing?
Primal.
Okay, in my opinion, and most women are far more to the right, like they're far more stringent than I am. I feel like a first date is like meeting ever. Okay,
it's cherry picking how to say this right.
Right. It's like choosing my words very carefully here. I feel like a first date should not be expensive because you don't know if you want to date this person.
Not the price. It's the why do women expect men to pay even though world is changing? So
I don't know. I feel like
let's put it bluntly. We all know that women deserve equal pay as men, right? Mm-hmm. And if that utopia day that should not be a utopia comes, say that it's tomorrow, do you think that everybody getting paid equally, that women would then say, you know what, since we now all make the same amount of money, I can pay for myself on a date too when it's the first date? We know that won't happen. Like, there's no way. You don't even have to try to search the words. We know.
When a woman so standard etiquette though, when a woman offers to pay, usually she's doing it for two reasons. When she offers, it's being done for two reasons. When she insists, it's being done for one. When she insists on paying, that's a sign.
Not into it.
I'm not into you. Boom. No. You know, I'll throw down $10. Oh no, I've got it. No, I'm good. That's her gesture of like, I'm not into, like, I'm not even going to cost you $10. You know what I mean? I'm not into you. I feel
that never happens to me. What happens is I end up paying and then I find out they're not into me.
Yeah, me too.
That's
right?
So
I've never had a woman be like, no, let
I
me
would
pay.
not spend a dime. If I were not into you. But, like, I've gone on dates with guys and, like, I've offered as a gesture of, like, I feel like it's polite. Like, I'm not going to assume that you're going to pay. And it's usually, I don't know. See, and for me, it's not even a trick. Like, I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing you a lot on a first date. So, like, I don't expect you to guarantee me a lot either. Like, I can offer to pay my bill, and usually it's just done as a gesture of, you know, of being polite and respectful, but like usually those guys like me more. You know what I mean? These are people that like I find respect the gesture.
But again, the question is more so, why is that expectation is still held to? Why be progressive in so many other lanes, but then in certain lanes,
because it's taking women okay, let me explain something to you gentlemen very seriously that you might not even understand as a reality here, okay? There is a lot of equal shit on the table right now, all right? There are a lot of things that we as women are conditioned to believe as we grow into a society where we do have equal partnership, we have equal pay, equal political power. As we're evolving into that, yes, the dating field has to be more level. You cannot expect to be taken care of like a princess. You simply cannot. That's obnoxious, and it's a turnoff. And while men who find women empowering and want someone like willing to pay, even if they don't let her do it, it's the active gesture that they respect, which shows the man, I have respect for your time, for your money, like, and for you as a person. Women don't want to swallow that. They want to hold on to these bullshit ideas of chivalry. It's like, you're going to get the chivalry. You're just not there yet. You haven't earned your way. It used to be 10 years ago, and today it was much easier to transition into I am your boyfriend and you are my girlfriend or whatever. It was much easier to label something than it is today. These relationships still exist. They're just harder to attain. It's harder to bust that door down now.
I like that you haven't earned it yet. I might try that on a date when the bill comes. Oh, you haven't earned it yet.
That is the philosophy of this whole podcast is
no, but when you have more respect for a woman who offers to pay, and that, you know what I mean? Even if your intentions are paying, you want to pay. The fact that she offered and you had the opportunity to turn it down, does that leave you with a better or worse taste in your mouth?
Way better. It's a big bonus.
Right.
Just the offering.
Go ahead.
Just the offering, but I haven't been finding that. I've been finding that there's just the expectation, and sometimes I'll even do like little psychology tests to kind of break this down. I'll either show up early, so I get my drink and I'm waiting, and then sometimes they'll just come and will just sit down with me without a drink, and I'll just see how long it'll go before they either decide to go get one themselves or expect me to get it for them, or I'll come late and see if they're got a drink for themselves or not. And almost all the time, it always works out where I have to get them their drink. They'll sit there alone for 10 minutes waiting, even though I text and say I'm on my way, I'll be 10 minutes late. They won't get a drink. They'll wait for me to come, sit down, and get us both drinks.
I always get a drink. If I'm waiting for somebody, I always order a glass of wine or something. Always. But especially with the women that I set up, and the ones who don't listen to me, fuck them. That's right, ladies. If I've set you up and you didn't listen to me, fuck you, because you didn't listen. Don't want to be sloppy drunk.
I just wonder if it is a primal thing.
No, wait a second, though.
It's conditioning. It's conditioning.
They don't want to be sloppy drunk. They might think, and I can tell you this is the case, men who show up to, you've mixed reviews. Like, how many guys complained that this woman showed up on a date sloppy drunk? It's a huge turnoff. It's a big complaint. You hands down look like a whore. It doesn't matter. Like, if you show up tipsy or you're, like, I don't know. Maybe they want to get tipsy with you rather than before you.
Or they're coming from 3 other Tinder dates where they got really drunk.
I think you should
charging by the hour at that point.
I think you should change your location. I feel like you should try, if you're the type to do these social experiments, I'm interested to see how the experiment would go if you say, all right, let's meet at Barnes & Noble. You just pick a corner, no drinks, and you do your meeting that way. It's not a first date.
I've got so deep with my tests that I have a control group where I always meet at the same bar, and sometimes I'll even wear the exact same outfit, so there's less variables.
So yeah, this is a man of science right here.
Yes, I'm breaking it down.
I really think you should try to change the location. I don't Tinder date, so I have no experience, but I also don't really do the whole pay for first date thing. My first date is always the same thing that you're saying. You're trying to meet the person to get to know them because you don't really know that. I've been that way before online dating. So what I'm saying is just do some type of activity where conversation is the priority, but there's not this other distraction of I'm feeding you, I'm doing this, I'm doing those things. You can just go meet and talk and pick those locations. You can hide it in the guise of safety for the experiment, if whatever. I understand a lot of people aren't as blunt as I am. I'm just realizing that I have like the honesty, and a lot of people try to sugarcoat things. So you can try to figure out a way to sugarcoat it, but I'm saying meet in a location where talking is the priority and not.
Right, same thing, a loud bar. That can become expensive, sexual, and you have really no way to flow and control the conversation because you're talking over noise and you're becoming intoxicated.
Right.
That's always one of my sayings. If you're looking for a long relationship, most of your time in that long relationship is going to be spent in conversation. So you better make sure you're with someone that you could have a good conversation with.
And the point, and most what people do is the first few dates are always something where they're inebriated. So you're not even getting the sober person, where this is why people say, I don't know what happened, 6 months he's changed or she's changed. And it's really not that she's changed, it's that now y'all are both sober and you're dealing with the sober person 6 months in, where you wasn't doing that in the beginning.
Right.
And everybody's way more fun and drunk than they are sober. So that's why now the relationship is boring.
You got to keep drinking.
That or don't start.
Yeah, I feel like I dated a girl where we drank every single time, and I started to realize, wow, I've never really been sober with her for that long.
This happens. It's like at least the first 3-4 dates, it's based around drinks every time. You meet on Tinder.
Well, it lubricates the situation.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
But you don't ever get to really meet that sober, boring person. Like, what does she do when she's not drinking? You don't know.
Maybe that's
that
for
is.
The best.
Right?
Maybe it's for the best. This way you can just enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's night, have a good time. Sometimes reality could just be a big pain in the ass.
Right.
All right.
No, see, I don't think you should get so fucked up that you're making like bad choices that are going to affect you today, tomorrow, and whatever. But like, I think that it loosens the mood and creates the element of romance as long as both parties are on the same page.
But
drinking the same liquor.
Think through all the people that you meet and the best connections that you have. Just not even talking romantically, just relationships in general. Most of those people that you enjoyed spending time with, you don't focus. It's not focused around those loosening up. They're actually the people that loosen you up. It's the person. It's the connection. It's not the drink. So when you find that, going back to the scientist, you're adding a variable that has been loosening up when you're trying to find that actual event. You're trying to find someone who does loosen you up and relaxes you and makes it feel easy, but you guys are using this other catalyst to get that feeling, and then you have nothing to go off of. Your baseline is done.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's could be for the best. That's my Valentine's Day.
I really want you to try the experiments. Like, I'm telling you, just go places and talk. Like, that's it. I just be like, yo, let's just meet. I want to just, talk with you a little bit. No drinks. You can step it down to coffee. Do Starbucks.
Well, sometimes I think about relationships like, if you spend 24 hours with a person, you kind of want to get away from that person a lot of times. And then I think, well, that's fine, because if I spend 24 hours alone, I get sick of my own thoughts and I want to be with somebody. So sometimes I'll think about it like that. Like, I don't know how much time I want to spend sitting there sober in general.
That's because most people are boring. That's what it is.
Well, there is a thing to the art of the conversation. From doing my podcast, I feel like I've become a better conversationalist, and a lot of times it just comes down to being inquisitive and asking interesting questions. And it's best on a date when information comes out naturally in a conversation.
Right.
Finding out that they have a brother because it's part of some bigger story. But I've been on dates where it's like, oh, yeah, so do you have any brothers?
The canned interview questions, right?
Yes, and then you're memorizing all this information about this person that you're not even sure you're interested in yet.
I don't even have, I've gotten asked that. Like, you have any questions? I'm like,
really?
I'm like...
Yeah, we should be taught conversation class in school. How to have a conversation. But ask interesting questions. When the bit of information comes out from that answer, go somewhere with it. See where it goes.
Yeah, most people do not really know how to hold a conversation, and it's...
I think it also comes down to a lot of people just forget to be curious.
That's good.
It's like curiosity sometimes, especially when you're attention deprived, like a lot of people in New York City are, curious about others is hard because everyone needs more attention themselves.
But that goes to the more interesting thing. It's just like, if you're not interesting, then that interesting builds the curiosity in the other person. And if you don't show that for them to be interested in, and that's why people are going on these dates, and they're just going on dates to, I guess, push an agenda rather than really, I want to get to know a person. I just don't want to be single. Or Valentine's Day is coming up, and I don't want to be alone on Valentine's Day, so let me meet somebody. But
I think most guys have been on those dates with women that are looking for Mr. X to be the husband and father of her kids. And you're not anybody. You're just Mr. X.
Right. You're just replacing whatever. You're just a place marker for the dream. Whatever this dream is, you just are that.
Please note that I am not looking for a dream on Valentine's Day. I just want to make sure that I don't fall under the umbrella, of single women that are trolling for, the one on Valentine's Day.
I had an on and off girlfriend who she claimed to just be enamored with me, and
so you knew she was lying.
Yeah, I just I literally had to tell it. She was like, "I love you. You're the perfect guy for me." Blah 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 blah. And I had to tell her, like, you don't really love me. Like, you don't love the core person of like who I am. You love what I am. And I'm just a tall guy with a good job and his own car and how, like, that was what she liked. There was no way she liked me because everything about me she kind of wanted to like fix. I was like, but this is who I am. I am this. I have this stuff because I am ambitious, and that ambition, going back to Yael and her phone, I didn't turn that off. I didn't turn off the ambition. You weren't attracted to my ambition. You were attracted to what the ambition result was.
Yeah, that same girl that I mentioned before, that was pretty much the end. Was I got this opportunity, and And she was like, it would have taken me out of town. And she said, well, you don't want to do that. I said, well, yeah, that's kind of what I want to be doing. She goes, no, you don't want to do that. And then that was then that I really realized, wow, she doesn't even want what I want. She wants what's best for her. She wants what she wants. She wants like a house husband or something.
Were you going away as in like it would justify a breakup, or you were starting to travel for a project or something?
Yeah, it was a tour.
Oh, well, so this is your job, right?
Exactly, but she didn't want me going anywhere.
Well, I mean, then, bye, Felicia. Bye. I'd be like, bon voyage. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We'll Skype you every day. Bye now. Like, good for you. You're advancing in your career. Like, that's the direction you should be going in. It's one thing if you're saying we're breaking up because I'm taking on a project that, like, if a man, I feel like, loves somebody and wants to be with this individual, even if they travel, if you usually go for an individual that is going to be on board with the traveling, usually. It's when someone doesn't, the person doesn't have less commitment to their job because it upsets you. Like the fact that you're not cool with it, then your needs are not compatible. It
kind of shows a deep insecurity too. I mean, if she had that much insecurity about the relationship, that I'd be gone for a couple weeks. I mean, of course, there's a risk when one person leaves for a time that, the distance puts a strain on it. But if that's what the person wants to do, you got to trust and let them go.
I get the insecurity part, but I also don't think it's always that. We have to do a better job of finding compatibility. And I don't think as a whole we do that. And that's part of it. Like, Yael is a girl who is, if it's security, is definitely secure in herself to say, all right, if it's 2 weeks, I mean, I don't know how long this tour was. I hope it was more than 2 weeks because this was just ridiculous. But there are people that, they want that person to come back home all the time. And then there are some that are completely okay with being with their own thoughts. You said something about this earlier. Like, you being by yourself for 24 hours, you would hate that. If she's someone that's like that, then she needs someone every 24 hours to come and break up her own thoughts, at least.
Right. Well, that's what friends are for.
Right. And that's a whole difference of codependency. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that relationships get into trouble with. I see a lot of relationships, once they get really close, they kind of isolate themselves from their friends. And it's usually the beginning of the end. When you're single, you have a lot of friends, you have a whole social circle, and then you meet someone, you fall in love, then you just slowly isolate, start to spend all the nights just alone together.
And that continues with, like, even back to how we said our philosophy on this is just, I always say, you got to earn boyfriend Keenan. Like, until I'm your boyfriend, I'm not going to act in such. And just like we were saying, you got to earn the next date and all of this stuff. You kind of have to always fight for your identity. Because people, naturally, I'm not even saying that there's somebody that's vindictive or intentions to change, but people naturally try to change your identity in relationships. You become this other thing. That's why that Seinfeld episode was so great. It's like George divided against himself. You have to fight to hold your identity in these relationships. And it's supposed to be a joining of two worlds and not just some crazy... What happens is people get sucked into one.
Right.
It's either this guy gets sucked into Yael's world because her gravitational pull is so strong that he then eventually just loses himself, and that relationship will still fall apart.
Yeah, you can't expect the other person to satisfy all your
needs. Because now you've just literally sucked this other person into your orbit instead of finding a way to really join together both worlds and live coincidentally and coexist.
Well, I think this goes back to the Disney fairy tale of love. You know, they don't mention all this stuff.
Right, that's because they never show the backstory to the dude. It just doesn't matter.
That's irrelevant. Who the
The
fuck
Prince
cares,
backstory
right?
is never in any of these
No
movies.
one gives a shit. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's a prince. Return the slipper and lock that shit down." No one even asked why he's single.
I mean, except for Aladdin.
Oh,
Aladdin was the first one, right? And the only one still.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh no, Lion King. Simba they told Simba's backstory.
Simba was the story.
Well,
but that was not about him finding a queen. His was about
Nala was his queen. Nala had to find him.
Covered her on the way.
Nala had to find him and make him fall in love with her. Can you feel the love? She had to fuck Simba.
I'm saying
she had to fuck Simba for him to be like, okay, yeah, I'll become king.
The goal of the movie wasn't every other fairy tale that we're talking about, right? It's the woman's goal to find the guy. In these ones, outside of Aladdin and Lion King, the goal was him to become a king. It wasn't even about the girl. The girl was just, you're gonna be a king. You're gonna get a woman, dog. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you become interesting, women are just gonna come. That's what that was just a side effect on his
Listen,
journey.
homeboy, we're gonna make you so interesting, you're gonna lock that shit down with the princess.
That's it. You're just in the journey.
Or you just become the king and then you have your choice.
Right.
That's so funny.
But every other one, that's what it is. These women are put in. It doesn't matter. They just want the Prince Charming. They don't care that the Prince Charming was abusive to the last chick.
But would they want the pauper charming?
It all depends.
How much is the charm and how much is the prince?
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
Because that still exists. You know, if you're a wealthy, successful guy, you would just end up with a more attractive woman.
Yep.
Very much so. You know, I watched Amy Schumer's special the other day, and she made a very interesting point. No matter what you feel about her, Louis.
You mean she made someone else's interesting point?
Yeah, she made someone else's interesting point, and the point was Kevin James' Zookeeper movie, right? And we know Kevin James is not a heartthrob, but his love interest was Rosario Dawson. And she was saying that it's funny how still in Hollywood, the most unrealistic thing is, depending on your position, the guy is still going to get the most attractive girl. And that's still very much of a thing in society right now. That it doesn't even matter. That's just consistent. And then you have people like Louis that automatically assume that to be the case.
Yes. Wait, what?
When you see somebody and the girl is more attractive than the dude, you automatically think, all right, he's rich.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, this is everywhere in society. Look at Donald Trump's wife.
Yeah. See? Come on. It
can't be his personality.
No, it really isn't. Shit, you don't see me rocking with no 10s or not even 5s.
See, you get rich though.
I don't know. See, I always feel like I attract people that are substantially better looking than me. I don't know. That's how
Maybe it's a sign of a good personality.
No,
that's because she actually is interesting, and she'll.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's like reality television. You know, you don't know what's gonna happen. Oh shit! Here's a knife. I'm kidding.
I think we went from compliment to insult.
Yeah, she's gonna kill me while I'm asleep.
I'm not even. So funny.
Men are attracted to the danger.
Yeah.
The danger of saving lots of money, making better choices, and the danger. Having someone who's like, "Yeah, you're going on tour. I think that's great. Go collect that paycheck and fucking live our dream." You know what I mean? It's rare. It's rare.
I mean, I've seen it the other way too. I had a guy friend that wouldn't let his girlfriend. They lived together, and she had a chance to go on a European tour with a band and as a photographer, because she's a photographer, for 3 weeks. And
3 weeks?
3 weeks, and he said no. Said no.
That's ridiculous. That's why. Can we go back? That's why I wanted to know. How long was your opportunity?
It would have been between 2 and 3 weeks. It wasn't even like it was just like the beginning of a thing. It didn't even end up happening. But it was like, oh, this thing could happen. And she immediately was like, no, why do you want to do that? You shouldn't do that.
If your significant other would stop your dream for 3 weeks.
And that's when I knew she was an insignificant other.
Exactly. Kill yourself. That is crazy. That is just
exactly.
Ridiculous. Now, this is what I'm telling you. This is a whole different. This is why I'm like, I've gone through this. I had a project. I had to go to Australia for 6 months. That's a legit conversation. I'm telling you right now, for 3 weeks, I'm just telling you I'm going. Like, there's not even a conversation. It's just, I'll be back in March. I'm leaving in March. That's it. Like, that is. But 6 months was like, all right, this is something that we have to discuss.
Okay, so, but like backstory though, I've had a substantial amount of relationships of my adult life prior to like my spouse that they did not live in the country. I dated someone from Germany for a very long time and he flew back and forth. Now, he had the financial means to do this. He's a surgeon. But I'm saying irrelevant, the time commitment. You know what I mean? In the level of trust to do that for over a year.
I feel like you need to stop with all your stories because no one can relate to dating a Ford Air and a surgeon that's going to fly back and forth. You're not helping. This is not our listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. My apology to our listeners, Daniel Simmons Ford, by the way. Thank you for your support. Next time I'll use the ticket just to rub it in Keenan's face and watch him squirm. Keenan would die. He'd be like, what? Oh my God, no, she got it? It would be like fighting me over the fucking like golden ticket. You know what I mean?
I have a girl that I used to date. And let me tell you this. Actually, I'll tell you two things. She's at the Super Bowl right now. And this is another one of those girls who is like she's like, we're meant to be, we should be married, all of that.
Not you'd be at the Super Bowl this weekend if that was true.
This is why women are so crazy. They just have no idea. She invited me to like move. She's down south somewhere. She invited me to move down south in her house. She was like, yo, I'm going to build you a man cave for Christmas, blah, 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 right? And as a man, I can't just go be a home. Like, I can't go because you're offering me a man cave. It's a pride thing. To not offer me a Super Bowl ticket, though, would have to be the dumbest thing. Like, you'd have no idea. I'd have been right there. Just as whatever she wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to travel to Australia for 6 months, you have that conversation, but you could also say, why don't you come visit me at some point? Break it up. Right.
But that's part of the conversation. That's part of, okay, I'm going to go. So to help manage this, it's you can come out for a couple of weeks or whatever. Show
that you want them there. You don't want to get away.
That's what I learned towards the end. Towards the end of my career in that lifestyle, I would then bring the girls out if it was a cool location.
Right.
But I didn't at first. At first, I thoroughly enjoyed travel, and I thoroughly enjoyed the freedom I had, like being in a new location on business by myself, and I wouldn't do that. But that was part of going back to the growth of learning the priorities. It was later, all right, well, I'm here. I'm here for free. I didn't pay for my ticket, and I'm not paying for a hotel, and I'm not even paying for food. So I can buy you a ticket to come hang out for whatever if you're that important.
You know, and for the girl's perspective, that was part of your package. You know, if they want to date you, they got to deal with you traveling a bunch.
Yeah.
You know,
But
that's
that-
all part of it. If you're going to date a comedian or a musician or someone that's going to be out every night, then you know, that's part of it. If you accept that lifestyle, you got to accept it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there was this girl that I was talking to who still kind of stalks me. I didn't go for it because she was all like 8 hours away in upstate New York, and
She stalked you from 8 hours away?
yeah, she followed me on Twitter, Facebook, and she's like, she saw, like, I have my own podcast, and you know, she listened to all. She was like my #1 fan. And, you know, and when I realized, oh, you're 8 hours away, this ain't gonna work out, she said, oh, well, maybe you should stop being a comedian because I don't like how it makes you look. I mean, I don't like how it makes you, how you act when you're a comedian. And she immediately tried to control me, and I didn't even, you know, we didn't even meet. And then when I said, like, look, I'm not, you know, I don't want to pursue anything with you, she started threatening to send people my way.
Wow.
Okay.
I bet she's really good in bed.
No, well, how the fuck should I know? I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I don't think you should find out.
Yeah, no, I don't want to catch what she got.
But it's like that. It's like that with every relationship. As you're dating, you know, the red flags start to pop up. The other shoes start to drop.
They're always there.
Yeah, they always reveal themselves, and then you start to figure out, okay, well, but do I want to deal with that? Do I want to deal with that? Is that going to work?
I mean, the whole comedian thing, I find that to be like a transition too. Because when I told women like I would travel on business when I had a 9-to-5 job, quote unquote, they were definitely upfront, way more receptive. Now when I travel for comedy, it's always a little apprehensive.
Sure. Well, you're on stage, everyone's staring at you. You're the center of attention.
But it was the same thing. Like literally, my job hasn't changed. It's just the art has. So literally, my job was to present technology software. So I was the same. I used the same tool, and that's how I kind of found out that comedy was the love. My presentations were funny, which is why I was good in that arena.
Right.
I would make technology funny. But
how many women would be in these technology conferences?
All the time. It's corporate events.
Uh-huh.
It's literally it honestly, I think you get more
action there.
On that side of the fence, you get more groupie love on that side, because it has a more of a respectability fashion to it. It's like, here's a guy on stage also making money in a corporate capacity, versus comedy has an air of you're playing around until you're Kevin Hart, right? Like it's just they call it a hobby, right? Everybody around you calls comedy a hobby until you make till you're like on TV consistently or whatever. But in the corporate world, you're not famous, but you have this air of respect. So once you got off stage, y'all are all in this hotel. When I tell you, I can't even tell you.
Right, because you're staying overnight with everyone that was there.
I was ridiculous.
No wonder you never brought your girlfriends.
Yep.
I mean, I only had one. I've had two over the course of that. The first one, it was in the beginning. So I had just gotten into this position, and that literally is the reason that we're not together now. Is because, like I said, I didn't learn how to handle it. That was the example of my client was in Australia before I had to move.
Shorty, I gotta highlight you for a sec. This ain't working out, son. You know, I gotta go my way.
It wasn't. I have been dumped before, Louis. You don't have to always put that.
I gotta.
No, I've been dumped for pursuing comedy on a professional level. A guy that I dated. Tried to get back together with me like in October for a second. One of the reasons he broke up with me was like, I had to give this a lot of thought before I broached this topic with you. He goes, because like, I want to make clear I'm not talking shit, but like, you're really good at this. Like, I didn't get like, I didn't get how serious this was. Like, I didn't get it. I get it now. Like, I think you could be professionally funny. Because I actually believe you have the capabilities. I like, believe in you. But then I have to think, my parents would, like, this would create issues for me. And I'm not, and, like, when he tried to get back together with me, I referenced that conversation, and he was like, right. And I said, wait a second. So you're trying to get back together with me contingent on me agreeing to, he's like, well, I wasn't going to bring it up. I said, you weren't going to bring it up all at one time, basically. So I'm saying it was still an issue. So this would still be something that bothers him, only he approached it from an angle of, do you think that I would have enough to emotionally provide for you where you could just not do this and, like, be just work in real estate and, or like something less attention causing to the situation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why guys really have a problem with that.
I do.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why do guys have a problem?
Most men don't want their private life broadcasted on a public forum.
Well, I mean,
if you're dating someone who's a comic or has a podcast or in any level of entertainment, it's at some point, whether you're singing songs about them or telling jokes about what they did in bed 2 nights ago, that comes up in your routine.
No, I think that's a conversation then. The conversation is, I would rather you not talk about us. It's a whole different thing of, I'd rather you not be a comedian.
That's a tough one, because saying you'd rather not talk about us, that's like saying to a comedian, I'd rather you not talk about part of your life. I don't even know if that's possible.
Supposed to like, I would only hope if I were dating someone, fucking only hope I did. Like, you're supposed to incorporate yourself, at least to some degree, in their artistic, not, aren't you supposed to be their muse a little bit? Like, if you're all on the same page, this isn't a problem. When it is a problem, you're not on the same page.
But there's a very fine line. Like, I get someone saying, I'm private, don't talk about our relationship on stage. I get that being a valid concern. And that's something that's something that you as a comedian might have to just rise to the occasion. I'm sure there's plenty of other things going on in your life that you can fill an hour and a half act without touching the intimacy of your relationship.
But it's such a prevalent thing in your mind that it'd be hard to not talk about it.
Yeah,
isn't that why Howard Stern said his first wife couldn't handle it anymore? She was sick of him talking about their relationship on the radio and everything being public.
Right, so then don't marry Howard Stern.
Exactly.
Don't marry Howard Stern.
You got to accept the whole package of the person.
I saw something on Facebook this week that made me want to vomit in the toilet. That bitch that Chris Brown, who doesn't even, we don't even give a shit about her name, that Chris Brown had a baby with. That should have been a Planned Parenthood situation. She kept it, because why not? It's Chris Brown, and they call the kid royalty. Okay, this baby has gotten her zero publicity. No one gives a shit. She doesn't have a reality show. It was an agreement from the beginning that this baby, this private life of his, being a father, was going to be out of the media. She threw this kid in the media, and then she recently did it again with allegations because he's a pot smoker. Give me a break. Like, it's anything to, like, suck the attention, I feel like, out of somebody.
I hope she's getting good alimony for it anyway.
$2,500 a month.
Pretty sweet.
She wants an increase to $16,000. $16,000 a month. Why?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's another thing. When you're a celebrity guy or a rich guy, you have to constantly be careful of women that just want your seed for the money.
Don't even be. That's not even. That's something to teach to everyone. Like, guys, your seed is valuable. There's a dollar amount attached to your seed for everybody. It's just how much that dollar, but it still hurts no matter what. So keep it valuable. Like, know where you're placing that shit, because that doesn't...
Yeah, like I bet these guys have to, they have to take the condom with them. Can't just leave it on the floor. They probably take the condom off, go right to the bathroom, wash it out 17 times.
Either that or
cut it up.
Yeah, either that or they
Burn
get
it.
some Tabasco sauce and they dump it in there.
In the condom?
geez.
Yeah.
What does that do?
It kills the sperm, and if she
That's
tries
your
to
gut.
inseminate herself, she burns her ass.
Oh my god.
Is that how Mexican babies are born?
God. Gotta be.
That's how you make Mexican babies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yo!
I have got to
thank
say,
God I'm not
anyone
Mexican.
who's taking a condom with them post the act. I'm saying any woman who's. I mean, my God. I hope that's awful.
It happens. It's crazy.
How effective? Oh.
Because I think sperm live for 48 hours, right?
That's crazy.
Is that right?
Well, only it depends.
I have no idea.
It depends on the seasoning and also whether preservatives are used.
Well,
Well, if you put MSG on that shit,
they become super
Dude.
babies.
yeah,
Dude.
and also Asian. I don't know how that works.
Oh, God.
So
For some reason, that sounded more racist than my Mexican baby comment.
Yeah, I know that. I think it's because you care more about Asians. They're both equally racist.
yeah.
Like, oh my God. I think, like, I had something happen that was it was hysterical, but, like, I learned, like, the colors of my soul. Oh, God. There was a time where I thought for a second, like, I wasn't having a period, and I thought for a second, like, oh, God, am I pregnant? And the last person that I theoretically slept with, now, the timetable would be if I were pregnant, I probably...
Theoretically slept with?
What?
Well, no, I didn't. I actually slept with him. But I'm saying the timetable that it
Theoretically,
would be...
she just
theoretical, it happened. Anyway.
It was like in order for Yell to fuck, she had to take 60 hours of classroom learning.
The theory of sex.
Yes, 101.
So, no, but this was awful.
Damn it, you almost bit my dick. Sorry,
Thought
Professor.
For a second, I thought I was pregnant. And I was like, oh no, oh my God. And it wouldn't even make sense. I can't even get anyway. So I'm like, oh my God. But the fear of having this guy's baby was so big, I was not even going to chance it. I went to the dollar store and bought like 4 pregnancy tests and took them in intervals.
The dollar store.
I was like, oh, it's the same shit. Ladies, by the way, don't. It's all the same. Just one's more expensive than the other. They're just as accurate. They both deliver good and bad news. So I was petrified, and then I thought to myself, if I were pregnant, I would be, oh my God. And like, it's not even about the child support paycheck. Like the thought of, oh my God, like the $1 million baby would not have done it for me. Like,
I feel like I could
God.
never trust dollar store pregnancy tests because
No, they're reliable. They are.
Yeah,
if it came out positive, I'd be like, no way. Let's go get the high quality ones and see.
Right?
for
No,
sure.
I mean you can always double check. But I have friends who found out they were pregnant from. That's how I found out about it.
For some
They should sell abortions at the dollar store.
For some reason, I have a problem with the I have a problem with the casualness of this whole the whole transaction. Like
women at a certain point, like this shit. You
see the difference?
Gotta know.
You see the difference though. The pregnancy test. You go buy the pregnancy test for $1. If it comes out with bad news, that guy now has to spend $1,200 a month. Like, it's so crazy. How come we don't have a dollar store equivalent to how to handle this stuff?
When dollar store pregnancy tests come up positive, it comes up with Planned Parenthood's phone number.
No, like my friend Sarah
actually shows a picture of stairs.
She was telling me how she and her husband were trying to get pregnant, so she had to buy them in bulk. And she's like, yeah, there's no difference. And I was like, really? No shit. Really? Listen, I've never had a non-positive experience with one. I feel like they should be affordable.
It should be affordable, but $1 is crazy to me. Like,
but $13 for one, and to have it be positive, like, wouldn't you rather buy the $13 one after you get a positive on the cheaper one?
Is more expensive than a pregnancy test.
Actually, it's even worse. A 50-cent Little Debbie cake costs less than a pregnancy test. Yeah. Here, piss on the cake.
What did women do before the test?
What they would do, they would go underneath a bridge, and they would ask the old woman there, and they would cut up a frog. And
not at all what happened.
This was in the science books. And then they would say a prayer, and just drink a potion.
They go to the Catholic Church and get an abortion.
Okay. Well, no, they don't do that service there. I mean, they'll put a baby in you, but they won't take it out.
I don't know how y'all turned Valentine's Day to be the most racially insensitive conversation I've ever been a part of. It's amazing.
No, that used to be what would happen. The unwed mothers who found themselves pregnant back in the day would go to the nunnery, they'd get an abortion, or they'd have the baby and give it up for adoption.
And then they become slave babies in the church. I saw that movie.
I'm a slave baby.
Actually, there was a documentary.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Let me know, because I need a couple of documentaries to get me through Valentine's Day.
In Ireland, right? They were keeping the babies and putting them to work.
Yeah. They would have. That's how they make the wafers for communion.
All right, we're gonna end this one before we get too crazy. Gary, thank you for being with us. Is there anything that you have to promote?
Always, but I'm not going to bother you with it.
Oh,
go to my Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Gary Levitt, and I'm on Facebook as Gary Levitt.
All right, Yael, what you got for me, girl?
Follow me, of course, on YouTube. Please download, subscribe for Love and Play on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Stitcher, and everything else. And we have a headlining show coming up on February 21st for Real Talk Radio Pizza Time. We will post all of that information. And that's all I got going on so far.
Take it away, Louie.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm your boy Louie B. I'm not racist. I just play one on this radio show. So anyways, follow my personal podcast, The Crotch Shot Radio Show. In fact, I do it live at Saturdays at 5 o'clock. This next Saturday, February 13th, I'm going to be on Staten Island entertaining the Guidos and the Guidettes over there at the Hashtag Bar, located at 388 Van Duzer Street, Staten Island. Take the ferry, and it's really close by. Also, and if you don't want to take the trip to the island, February 16th, I'm at the Broadway Comedy Club. Please come see me. It's 9:30. And follow me on the YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, Crotch Shot Radio, youtube.com/Crotch Shot Radio Show, or Twitter at LouisB1, or Facebook Louis B Comedy. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe to For Love and Play, as Yael said. Take it away, Keenan.
All right, everybody knows all my information can be found on my website, www.kenanweaver.com. That's KENANWEAVER. And I learned from Yael and learned that the best excuse to give a woman to avoid dates is that you're bringing in money. So, Valentine's Day weekend, I'm working all weekend. I'll be part of the Laugh Tour at February 13th at the Comedy Art House in Jersey City. Mm-hmm. Then on Valentine's Day, February 14th, I'll be at Rockwell's in Mamaroneck, Pelham. But all that information's on the website. Come on out, bring your love interest. I'll make you laugh at how funny being single is. Thank you, guys. Keep loving, keep playing.
Bye, guys.